This is your video orientation for this Ram Promaster camper van. When you first arrive to pick up the van, we'll go around the exterior. We'll document any damage that may be pre-existing on the van. Those photos will get uploaded to whichever rental website you used. And once that's complete, then we'll do a thorough in-person orientation. But this video will serve as a great reference. The slider door has two positions. It has this midpoint position as well as fully open, so you don't have to have the door completely open if you don't want. There's also this screen door if you've got nice weather. Close the screen, keeps the bugs from getting in, yet allows the cool weather, nice air to flow through the van. As you enter the van, there's this cabinet in the entryway. You do have the option of removing this cabinet and placing a third belted passenger seat. If that is something you like, make sure you indicate to us that you would prefer that over the cabinet. It just simply bolts into some rails in the van. Nice step that drops down and a good grab handle to enter the van. Also inside the doorway, we've got the switches for the overhead lights as well as the rear garage lights. And this is a dimmer, which will dim the overhead lights. Both the passenger and driver seats swivel. These are the factory swivels from Ram. They're quite nice. To swivel them, you're going to tilt up this lever. You'll probably have to slide the chair so it doesn't hit the B-pillar. There's one. And there's the second. Nice feature, really increases the living space in the van. Up top in this cubby space, great storage for soft items like jackets, blankets, etc. This is also where the windshield cover is located, as well as the covers for each of the side windows. And these are just press fit, they just press in place. There's one for each window pane, so two on each side. They work really well. Definitely important if you're camping in hot or cold weather. This is a lot of heat loss and heat gain coming through in this cockpit area with all the glass, so if you're going to be anywhere for any amount of time, get those up into the window as quickly as possible. It'll just keep it more comfortable in the van. In addition to these front window covers, each of the side and rear windows also have covers. Those are simply magnets that hold the cover in place. Just undo this Velcro and they kind of accordion fold right down like so. These side windows can also be opened using these cranks, and these are awning style windows, so they tilt out so rain can't come in. With these windows open, the slider window also opens, and if you have the fan on, you can really get good airflow coming through the van if you've got nice weather. To close them, it's just the reverse. Close, tighten down, and that's it. So the layout of the van, we've got a countertop in the slider doorway. Again, this can be replaced with a third passenger seat if you would rather have that. Maybe you've got a kid, etc., or you've got another friend with you. And the large countertop over on the driver's side, this is kind of the kitchen zone. So in this counter, you've got a drawer, houses the cooker, cabinet doors, and that brings us into the dinette area. So we've got a large dinette seat on one side, a smaller one on the other side. This fan will rotate up and you can adjust it to position however you need it. And there's two switches on top that control it. One of the switch is the power and fan speed. The other one is a timer. So you can set it to a timer to automatically turn off. You don't have to use that though. Got some lights above each side of the bed. Press once, you get a blue light. Press again for the reading light. Press and hold to dim them. And underneath each of these lights is a USB plug, so you can charge your device while you're laying in bed. Queen size bed, full width queen. It's a couple inches short. I believe it's 76 inches wide. So if you're 6'2", you can sleep totally stretched out. If you're taller than that, a slight angle will be no problem. This dinette table you unlock it and pull, got your dinette table that slides out. Nice feature. You can use this for your laptop, dining, etc. And just slide these locks closed to keep it from opening. Underneath you've got additional storage. Got some shelves on one side, pass through into the garage on the other side. That's nice if you've got a long surfboard or something else that you need a little extra length. And then over on this side we got the other dinette seat, and above that this remote controls the under cabinet lighting. You can dim those as well. Set the mood just right. This button is for the water pump. If you want water to be running, that button needs to be on. It's lit up when it's on. In the sink here we've got hot and cold water as well as filtered water. So that's a nice feature. The water is in a 30-gallon tank. I drink the water, no problem. The filtered side, personal preference. Some people prefer water bottles, but this tank works great and the filtered water is really nice. The sink drain water as well as the shower drain into a 20-gallon tank located below the van, and that can be emptied using an electronic switch. If you're camping somewhere where it's dirty, you're going to want to keep that closed so your campsite doesn't get muddy. If you're somewhere more grassy, you can empty it, or when you drive away on the roads, you can empty it driving down the road. The gray water tank switch is located on the ceiling in the front of the van behind the rear view mirror. As you can see, it's currently closed, so no water will come out. If you flick it to open, that opens the valve and water will drain out. This dinette area can also convert into a smaller sleeper bed. To do that, just going to pull the panel out from under the mattress and just drop it into position. Rearrange the cushions, and now you've got a little bed for the kid, and even adults can sleep there. The drawers in the kitchen area have the silverware, all the cooking utensils you could need, scissors, knives, spoons, spatulas, etc. Pots and pans in this one. And down below we've got the fridge and freezer. To use these latches, you just pull straight out. There's a spring that releases a catch, and when you let go, it springs back. And then to close it, just close them and they'll lock in place. Under the sink, we got the trash can, cleaning supplies. This larger dinette seat on the passenger side also houses the portable toilet as well as a shower. So to access it, just move the pillows, lift up this lid. There's a latch to hold it in place, and there is the toilet and the shower. You want to take the toilet out to use it. It'll just be more comfortable. And then the shower curtain lifts up out and clips into rings on the ceiling. And you've got hot and cold with your on-off shower head in there. There are hooks on each corner of the shower curtain frame. Those just hook right into a couple of eye bolts in the ceiling. And there is your shower curtain. If you do end up using the shower, when you're done, you want to leave this up as long as possible so it can dry out, and then everything just stows away. To use this Dometic toilet, there are instructions on the inside of the lid. The first step is to remove this cap, and you'll fill this upper tank with just normal fresh water. It says to fill it within an inch of the top. So once you've got your water in there, you'll close that, seal it tight. Then you want to open up the lower bowl and make sure before you use these, you want to dump a half of one of these tank treatment bottles down into that lower tank. These bottles live in under the sink. Once you've got that in there, then you're going to pressurize the water. You're going to pump this handle 15 times. Then when you push this button, it'll flow water into the bowl. Do your thing, push it again to flush, and when you pull this lever out, all your waste goes down into the bottom tank. There is a gauge on the front that will show you how full it is. It doesn't really make sense when it's empty, but when there is material in there, you'll be able to tell. And to empty it, you just separate the two halves. Take this to any toilet, porta potty, dump station, whatever, and simply dump it out. In the upper cabinets, you've got your cups, coffee mugs, wine glasses, and these just have a friction latch, so push them closed firmly. Plates, bowls, French press for your coffee, drawing rack, cutting board. This one is home to the electrical system. We'll come back to that in more depth. Back here we've got the microwave. And then two more empty ones for additional storage. Inside the electrical cabinet, you'll find the Maxx Air Fan remote. So this is how you turn the roof fan on and off. It does have a magnetic cover. So there's the fan. The remote gives you on-off as well as temperature control. So you can set it to a certain temperature and the fan will automatically turn on or off when it reaches that desired temperature. You can also adjust the fan speed and set it to intake or exhaust. If you're using the fan, I like exhaust. Open up a couple of the windows, have that pulling the air out, and it'll really create some nice airflow. Also in here is the main electrical system, so let's show you that. There are three sources of power for this van. So when you're driving, the batteries will charge. There's 600 watts of solar on the roof. So if it's nice and sunny, you get lots of power from charging. And then also you can plug into Shorepower to charge the house batteries as well. So inside the electrical cabinet of the van, on the left, we've got all the breakers and fuses. The battery system is all of the fuses. They're labeled. If one of those does go bad, it will turn bright red with a light. There's spare fuses in one of the drawers with the utensils. And these are all the breakers for the AC side of things. So this is the main breaker. If this is not on, none of these breakers work. This next one over is the microwave and the outlets. Water heater, I always leave that one off. The water gets heated whenever you drive the vehicle. Works great, so there's really no need to heat it electrically. And then an additional outlets breaker over here. This screen is the main display screen for all of the van's system. You can see it's got the battery status. We're at 88%. Shows you how much solar we've got going in, how much power the DC system, the battery system, is currently using. Our fresh tank is at 35% full, or 11 gallons. Gray tank is empty. All of the water from the sink and the shower drains into a 20-gallon gray tank. The fridge is currently at 41 degrees. Inside the van is not quite 70. And the freezer is kind of warm at 38 since I just turned it on. And you can see we have no AC input or loads. We're not currently connected to Shorepower. If you swipe, there's another screen on here, just a different view of the tanks. And this is just another view of the power system. Below this screen, we've got the Shorepower breaker. Once you connect to Shorepower, you'll flip that on to energize it. Below that is the heater. If you're in cold climate, rotate that knob to on and give it a few minutes and the heater will prime itself and start blowing out nice hot air. And that uses the same fuel that the vehicle uses. So make sure that if you are intending on using the heater, the fuel tank is a quarter tank or higher. It won't turn on if it's less than a quarter tank as a safety feature, so you can't strand yourself somewhere from using the heater. This is the breaker for the air conditioner. You won't need to mess with this. And then we just got a few additional DC accessories. So to turn those on, just hit that switch. You've got some USB plugs as well as two 12-volt outlets. The air conditioner in this van is a 12-volt air conditioner, so it runs directly off DC power, meaning you can run this off the batteries. How long is a very popular question. It really all depends on what state of charge your battery is in, how hot it is, so how hard the air conditioner is working, and what other loads you're running. If you're leaving all the lights on, got computers plugged in, etc. To turn the air conditioner on, hit the power switch. You can change the fan speed by pushing the fan button. This light button is non-operational. There's no lights attached to this. The M is for mode. You can put it into max, so it'll cool down at full power. Fan only, so no cooling. Eco mode, so it'll do a reduced cooling to try and stretch out your power even further. Or normal mode. The up and down control the thermostat. 60 degrees is the lowest you can set it, all the way up to 80 or so. And so this air conditioner is not as powerful as the air conditioner in your home, for example. So if you're somewhere where you do need to use the air conditioning, you want to stack all the odds in your favor. You want to make sure to have all the windows covered, keep them covered the entire time. Open the doors as little as possible. And if it's really, really hot, you can even turn the van on and use the van's dash air conditioning to get the van cooled down initially, and then this air conditioner can take over no problem from there. The eco mode on the air conditioner will not cool the van down from being very hot, but it will maintain a temperature. But the normal mode and max mode will cool it down from being hot. However, running the vehicle to use the dash AC, if it's 100 degrees in here at first, will definitely get you to a comfortable state much more quickly. All right, so the rear of the van has quite a bit of storage. On the right side, fire extinguisher, hot and cold shower. In this cabinet, you've got 3 camp chairs, a folding table, an outdoor rug. Here's the quick release nozzle for the hot and cold shower. There's also an air compressor, a basic tool kit, and a fill-up hose so you can refill the water should you need to refill your water. We've also got this convenient teak mat to stand on if you're using this outdoor shower. Just unbolt that, lay it on the ground. It keeps you out of the mud while you're showering. Switches for the overhead and garage lights as well. On this side is the electrical system, and you really won't need to mess with anything back here. There's a big Victron inverter, all the solar controllers, etc. But also what's important is we've got our Shorepower hookup. And so to hook up to Shorepower, just going to take our cord and our 30 amp adapter, and we're going to plug it into the Shorepower receptacle on the side of the van. To connect the van to Shorepower, whether you're at a campground, your driveway, plug it into someone's house, the first thing you're going to do is use this 30 amp to 15 amp adapter. The large end gets connected to the van. There's a 90-degree bin in one of the outlets. That's how you orient it. So get it on there, and you'll give it a twist to lock it in, and then push this trigger forward to hold it. Now you're set up for just a normal extension cord. We're already plugged into our electrical box, so we'll make that connection. And the blue light lights up on top of the adapter, so we know we've got power flowing into the van. If you are at a campground and you use their electrical box, you'll need to turn on the breakers. So if you're not seeing power, double check that you turned the breaker on to what you plugged into. Once you've connected the van to Shorepower, we're back inside now at the electrical panel. The next step you need to do is flip the Shorepower breaker to on. If you have power, you'll see the power on light come on. Now you've got power flowing into the van. You just need to turn the inverter charger on. So here where it says inverter, we're going to go ahead and click it to on. Give it a couple moments. You'll hear it click. And now, as you see, it shows that it's on. So when it's on, it'll be charging up. Here's where it shows you how much power is going in to charge the batteries. It's a good rule of thumb, if you're just plugged in at your friend's driveway through a normal outlet at their house, you want to touch this button and make sure you limit the current to something less than 15 amps. So 15 amp would be the maximum, or just to play it safe, put it down to 10 amps or 7 amps. So let's see, let's just set ours to 7 amps, then you would hit accept new. And that's just going to make sure you're not pulling too much power from their receptacle and you're not going to trip any breakers. Let's set it to 15. When you're connected to Shorepower, the batteries will be charging and all of the outlets in the van will be live. Also located in the garage are the handle to deploy the awning, as well as the center rafter that you should use if you have the awning out with a little bit of rain. Both of those are clipped underneath the bed. Here's the handle, and here is the center rafter. So let's deploy the awning. So to deploy the awning, we're going to use this handle. One end of it has a hook. On the awning itself, there's a loop, so just hook the loop, and then you're going to rotate it, and you want to unwind it until you can comfortably reach the forward edge of the awning, at which point you're going to pop out the support legs. You can extend them. Same thing for the back. And then once you have these out for support, you can finish rolling out the awning. And I roll it out until you see the fabric go slack. And then put an additional crank on it for some tension. Get your legs to where they are working good. And that's the awning. If it's super windy, you don't want to deploy this, but a little wind is okay. Put the stakes into the ground through the feet. If it's raining, you want to also use the center rafter. So the center rafter has 2 hooks, one on each end. So you'll hook a bar on the awning and then on the front of the awning, and that just keeps any rainwater from pooling and making a big swimming pool. Make sure you also have one side lower than the other so the water has somewhere to drain. Putting the awning away is just the reverse. First, you're going to remove the center rafter. And then I like to kick the legs back a little bit. Oh yeah, make sure after you've deployed the awning, take the handle off and put it away. Don't leave it hanging here because it will ding up the door. But so to retract it, just turn it the other way. Before you get all the way up, just shorten the legs, pivot those up, and then they slide in until you hear them click, like so. So same thing, shorten the leg, pivot it up, and then it'll slide in and click. Then just finish winding up the awning until it stops. Once you can't wind it anymore, it's back in, and you can put the handle away. The garage area also has a full screen enclosure, so if you'd like to have all the doors open, you've got nice weather, you can open the doors, drop this screen, no bugs will come in. It's super simple, a couple clips up top, zippers on the side. So you could have just the bed portion screened in, or if you want to also cover the lower area, you've got that option as well. If you'd like to block out just the bed section for privacy, you can do that as well. The exterior flap, 4 buckles in the same place, and this drops down as just the top half. And so now you've got some privacy in the bed area. Another neat feature of this is you could kind of use it for an awning over the doors. There's these shock cords. So if you've got a little drizzle, put that up if you're working back here, or even if you have the doors open, and it stops it from getting into the bed, into the garage. If you need to refill the water in your water tank, you'll do that on the exterior of the van on the passenger side. You'll get the potable water hose out of the garage, as well as the inline filter and control valve. And then on the van keychain is the key for the water cap. Just unlock that. You'll insert this tube into the fill port and then turn the valve on. And you'll have to stand here and babysit it for a few minutes. It takes about 3 or 4 minutes to fill it all the way up from empty. You'll know it's full when some water will start to squirt out of the fill port. And you should be able to give it full blast. If it's coming out as you're filling it, you can kind of dial it back a little bit. Once you've filled up your water tank, just put the cap back on, and you'll disassemble the filter and hose. Don't put them away wet. Make sure to shake them out, drain them out, so you're not putting the hose and the filter back inside the van with water still inside them.